Well,
Here we are.
we missed Sunday viewing. We have a guest.
There's a cat. He's out that door.
Oh, yeah,
No, you
he's
don't.
leaving. He's like, I don't think
I
so.
don't think so.
So, our topic for today is going to be, God, there's always too many.
There's a
animals.
lot.
It's like a live studio audience
It is.
that I don't want. Okay, so the last time we did a show about Raw, we had a little controversy,
We did.
and I just, being part pit bull, I just can't let go of it. So I wanted to talk about vegetarianism and veganism, and we're going to try to keep it quick and light, but it is not a light subject at all. It's
isn't.
actually pretty damn heavy and painful. But
It's probably going to get us all. We're both going to be crying by the end, but we're going to.
I don't know if I have enough heart to
Either that or
cry.
we'll eat the cat.
We'll have a ritual sacrifice of the cat behind us
Right there.
when we're done, so that we can show that we can be neutral.
We're impartial.
We can go either way.
We can.
So, okay, if you want to eat meat, you're a meat lover, you don't have to change it. You're a meat lover. If you're a meat farmer, obviously your living depends on it. However, there are certain facts. A lot of people think that we need meat in our diet because we, through decades, have been taught that we need animal protein, we have to have it, and that milk does a body good. Well, that unfortunately has come from the Meat and Dairy Council. Surprise!
Who knew?
Yeah. So a lot of times people think vegans and raw foodies are just freaky hippies who are just, love their fellow cow. But we have facts as to why it would actually be better for you. We'll start off with the earth.
Let's.
Mary, oh God, where do
Mary
we?
Elizabeth.
Okay, you want to read those
All
off?
right, you want to hear some facts?
Mm-hmm. This is just for the earth, but the earth, schmirth.
Right. Well, we'll get down to what's in it for you in a minute.
When it comes to a prime rib, really,
Screw
the
the
planet or
I'm hungry.
the local steakhouse tonight.
Yum. Let's go. Okay. Did you know that over 60 million people die of starvation every year?
Probably way more
60
than that.
million. Over.
Probably more than that because we have 7 billion people. I'm sure that.
It's all a bit mind-boggling, isn't it?
Mhm.
But anyhow, a lot of food is produced to support meat, meat that people eat. The livestock eat.
As opposed to just
Keep
meat
as-
that hangs out.
Keep
and,
as pets. That
like
takes
Clyde.
yes, Clyde and Joey.
He eats a lot of corn. He's eating corn I could send to another nation.
You could. Let's not get into that. Okay, the livestock population of the U.S. consumes enough grain and soybeans each year to feed over 5 times the human population of the country. Well, that is a little weird, don't you think? These animals are eating a lot. They're fed over 80% of the corn and 90% of the oats that are grown on our soil.
To fatten up a cow so that someone has a prime rib. And isn't there something for a pound? Like, what is it, pound? Okay, it takes 16 pounds of grain to produce 1 pound of meat. That's just BS right there,
That's
okay?
ridiculous.
Less than half of the harvested agricultural acreage goes to feed people.
Less than half. And people are dying of starvation, and that's just ridiculous. And if that's not enough for you, half the water used in the U.S. goes to irrigate land growing feed for livestock. Half. And water isn't something you can grow more of.
Mm-hmm.
It takes 2,500 gallons of water to produce a single pound of meat. Similarly, it takes approximately 4,000 gallons of water to provide a day's worth of food per person for a meat-centered diet.
And we're low on water. Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah. 1,200 gallons for a lacto-ovo vegetarian diet. That's me. And 300 gallons for a vegan diet.
That's me like 3 days out of the week.
That's my goal. That's where I'm headed.
Oh, and let's see, topsoil. Topsoil, it takes 500 years to produce an inch of topsoil. This is rapidly vanishing due to clear cutting of forest and cattle grazing practices. Let's see, according to U.S. Department of Agriculture, 1 acre of land can produce 20,000 pounds of potatoes. This same amount of land can only produce 165 pounds of meat. But what does it take? It takes 3.5 acres of land per person to support a meat-centered diet. So basically, all our water, most of our water and meat goes to just raising a cow, so we can eat it within 5 minutes.
Right.
You know? So that's just the earth. So we're wasting tons. Plus, it's causing a lot of pollution of the water. It's destroying the. It's destroying the topsoil. I guess it's
devastation
the
of the rain.
Yeah.
Devastation of the rainforest.
Yeah, because they're clear cutting the rainforest so that we can have, you know, more hamburgers and crap, so we can get fatter. So that's just the earth alone. Okay, so yes, that could be a total activist point of view. But then let's talk about your health, because a lot of people say, well, we've been eating meat since the beginning of time, blah, blah, blah. However,
Fine.
However, we've also been getting sicker and sicker and fatter, and we have more heart disease and prostate cancer and colon cancer and breast cancer.
Diabetes, you name it.
Diabetes. So I looked up some things. I love my book, Skinny Bitch. I love this book.
It is a good book.
And this is just...
I couldn't read the part.
Oh,
she's
God.
it's so...
well, I'm not going to read.
disgusting.
I'm not going to read. Okay, so we covered Earth. So that's our planet, and the fact that we're wasting tons of land that could be for gardens, and we're wasting tons of water, and we're always crying about water shortage, you know? So that's absurd. That's just disgusting gluttony. Let's talk about animal cruelty, okay?
Shall we?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into it because it's hideous, but if you Google, all you have to do is go Google slaughterhouses and factory farming and watch some of the videos that were taken. They're horrid. Animals are kept up in hideous conditions, and then the traveling time is hideous, and then the slaughterhouses are beyond hideous. They usually aren't stunned. They're supposed to be stunned so they pass out or whatever before they're slaughtered. It never happens. So the slaughtering practices are atrocious, and a lot of the people who do the slaughtering practices become so twisted and sick from the work that they do that they torture the animals a lot of times before. So I'm not going to read those, but there are a lot of accounts from people who used to work at slaughterhouses of the things that happen that people do to entertain themselves and torture the animals before they kill them. Yeah, but I won't go into that. And then let's talk about the fact that when the animals are raised, they're raised in such hideous confinements that they all get sick, most of them. So they're all dosed up with steroids and antibiotics and all kinds of drugs to just keep them alive till they're fat enough. And then when they travel to the slaughterhouses, sometimes they have to travel like 4,000 miles in the back of a truck, you know, and they don't get to run around in the field. So they're loaded up with more antibiotics and stuff to keep them alive. And so by the time they get to the slaughterhouses, they're completely pumped up with every chemical and antibiotic and steroid, and you know, they don't get cleanses and colonics and all that good stuff.
No detox.
Yeah, they don't detox before we slaughter them. We eat all of that that's also. Plus, let's talk about how the fact that they've been raised in fear and terror and distress. So
there's a lot of adrenaline and things like
rage, terror,
despair.
Yeah.
You're eating that.
You're eating that. That doesn't just go away magically. They don't just kill it and slice it up and package it up for Safeway, and suddenly it's clean, healthy. Yeah, and it kills me. I saw a commercial, a dairy commercial, and all the things that promote dairy and meat and the farms are funded by the effing dairy.
Let's save on the
I know,
cussing,
I really
by
want
the
to
way.
cuss. Bad. But the dairy and meat councils, and so the bastards, I saw this commercial the other night, and they show the old farmer chewing his wheat, sprig, and the sun's coming up over this lush pasture, and their cows out there licking each other and looking fat and shiny and happy, which they probably borrowed the cows from a neighboring organic farm, because God knows their cows are like hanging on to life.
Right.
But then let's talk about health benefits. This is how wonderful milk does a body good. So much good. As a matter of fact, let's see. The cows are injected with BGH, which is a bovine growth hormone, which is not even approved in other countries, like Europe, Finland, other places. They don't even approve it. Let's see. See, I try to take notes and highlight.
Gross. It's bad for you.
It's just gross.
It's just gross. It is.
And go ahead.
I was going to say, while she's looking for her fun facts, I was going to interject that even if you're not willing to give up your dairy and your meat, it's really important, if you can afford it, to buy organic and support organic farming, local as you can be, and as cleanly raised and humanely raised as possible, because the more those industries are supported, the more, and the less you buy the 25,000 eggs for $1. If you can afford that $6 for a dozen from the organic farm, which I know those aren't perfect either, but at least you're making a $ statement.
Those chickens usually are happy. A lot of the local farms around here, the chickens are happy.
Right.
And the egg yolk is actually orange, which I never knew yolk was orange. I thought it was pale yellow. But that's because the chicken's been straining and pumped with...
Yeah, it's not good. So the more financial messages we can send, the better.
Amen. We didn't time ourselves.
I did. We have 2 or 3 more minutes.
Okay. Well, we're going to have to make a sequel here real quick. So, okay, dairy products. They don't make strong bones. As a matter of fact, the Yale University found that the countries with the highest rate of osteoporosis, including the United States, Sweden, and Finland, were those which people consume the most meat, milk, and other animal foods. And in Africa, the only tribe found with osteoporosis was the Maasai. I'm probably saying it wrong, I don't care. As it happens, our cattle-owning, milk-drinking tribe. Milk causes acne, anemia, anxiety, arthritis, attention deficit disorder, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, fibromyalgia, headaches, heartburn, indigestion, irritable bowel syndrome, joint pain, osteoporosis, poor immune function, allergies, ear infections, colic, obesity, heart disease, diabetes, autism, Crohn's disease, breast and prostate cancers, and ovarian cancer. Yum!
Drink up.
Pour me a glass of that. So, and then I didn't even get to the meat. I can't even get to the meat. There's so many chemicals in the meat, and they cause so many cancers. But I did get to, and if you want to listen to the FDA and the USDA, the research, they have such a huge criminal record, it's not even funny. But they can afford to cover it up because they are the government. There are some websites if you need to prove things for yourself. There are doctors like Dr. McDougall, everyone's heard of them, Dr. Dean Ornish. There's a website, www.vegsource.com, and there's a heart surgeon who started a huge practice called Physicians Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine since 1985, and there are like 5,000 or more heart surgeons on there who actually promote a vegan diet because they have so many patients they would actually like to cut their caseload in half. And they talk about vegan diet would reduce, actually stop and reverse a lot of cancers, heart disease, heart attacks.
That's true.
That's a heart surgeon telling you. You know, and that's his job. He actually should want patients, but there are too many. So
there you go. What's for dinner?
not cow. So did we cover everything?
I think we almost did.
And that's only skimming it.
And we're not really covering anything. We just had to get it off our chest.
Get it off our plate.
That's right. Off the plate and out there, and you know, besides all those facts, you know, you can do what you want with them, but I think Kate and I personally are trying to live a little more simply and cleanly and healthily, and, you know, find a friend, support each other, and be good to the earth and yourself.
Yeah, and if you
And
want to
your
eat
fellow
those things,
earthlings,
that's
think
fine.
about it.
That's a personal choice, you
course.
know. But educate yourself.
Mhm.
All we're asking is that get on there,
Find the
look
facts.
up, look up doctors. You know, look up what physicians who support vegan diets. Why do they?
Right.
Why? And look up slaughterhouse practices and factory farming practices. Find out where your meat and your dairy and your eggs are coming from.
You might gross yourself out so hard that you just naturally don't want to eat it anymore.
Find out what you're doing, because every time you eat, it's either promoting, it's promoting something. So do you want to promote?
Dang it.
I'm figuring this out.
You're supporting a system in which you may not believe.
Yeah.
So figure out what your beliefs are.
Very destructive.
And shop accordingly.
A very destructive, cruel system.
Mhm.
So if you ain't your
Which
meat, get
nobody
it from
wants.
Farmer John down the street if you just have to, you know.
Think how hard we all cry when that abused animal commercial comes
Oh.
on with the Sarah McLachlan song. Oh my
awful.
God!
I don't
everyone-
watch that.
That'll clear a room.
Yeah.
So, you know, just sort of think that maybe the animals you're eating aren't that different.
No, there are cows out there tonight suffering.
Yeah.
I know. So I guess that's it. That's our
Okay.
lecture for today.
Have a
Bye.
great weekend.